Hey there everyone, I'm Rasenryu, but you my friends can call me Rasen. Sonic the Hedgehog the movie, the least anticipated video game movie of the year, yes, even after Angry Birds 2. Bet you forgot that movie existed, didn't ya? It certainly inspires hope that Hollywood will make a sequel about anything, even when nobody wants it. Ever since the animated movie poster dropped in December 2018, some fans of the Sega franchise couldn't help but become enraged with how the beloved blue blur was being depicted in the upcoming live-action movie. It only shows a silhouette, but that was enough to spark immediate internet backlash. So many memes were created, both hilarious and terrifying. Then in March of 2019, some images were quote-unquote accidentally leaked to the public. They showed what many believed to be Sonic's final design in the movie. Although the backlash was a little less severe, with some fans coming around to being okay with or liking the design, most others hated it. This sparked more memes and even some fan art of the movie Sonic. Some art embraced the change and some hit the fuck go back button. Many believe that this will be pretty close to the final design, if not the final design of movie Sonic. With the trailer for Sonic the Hedgehog the movie coming any day now, many, including myself, are apprehensive to say the least about the direction this movie is going. There's a lot that is still unclear about it, but one thing is for certain, and that is that Paramount Pictures is at the helm of this movie's production. So today I want to raise the question, is the Sonic movie in good hands with Paramount Pictures? And to answer that question, let's first have a talk about the many people involved with the movie. Paramount Pictures is involved with distributing the film, but when it comes to production, Paramount Animation isn't the only one involved. Helping to produce the film we have Sega, of course, Original Film, known for the Fast and the Furious series, Blur Studio, known for the CGI cutscenes for Sonic 06 and all the space sequences for James Cameron's Avatar, DJ2 Entertainment, who specialize in video game to TV/motion picture adaptations, Marza Animation Planet Incorporated, who produced the film Night of the Werehog, and a company called Hedgehog Films Incorporated, who handled some location scouting and filming. That's a lot of chefs in the kitchen for one movie, and all of them pretty big names for the project in particular. And Paramount has produced movies like Monster Trucks and Wonder Park, which is merely to say that they can make 3D animation and CGI/live action hybrid movies. But okay, sure, there's some big names working on the film, but what about the cast? What can they bring to the table? Well, if we only look at the main characters, I'd say we have a pretty solid list. First, there's Ben Schwartz, the voice for Sonic in the movie. He's done voiceover work for many other animated shows and movies, including Leonardo in Rise of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Dewey Duck in the most recent DuckTales show, and Skidmark from Turbo in 2013. He might be a fantastic fit since he's got so much experience voicing characters associated with the color blue. Then we have James Marsden, who plays Sonic's buddy cop friend Tom Wachowski. He's been in roles like Fred O'Hare from the 2011 movie Hop and Prince Edward from the 2007 movie Enchanted. And those may be older movies, but at least he has experience in CGI/live action hybrid movies. Finally, of course, we have Jim Carrey as the sometimes comical, sometimes serious Dr. Ivo Robotnik. Carrey has been in many comedic and dramatic roles, including Batman Forever, Ace Ventura: Pet Detective, Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, and most recently, the TV comedy/drama series Kidding. No matter which direction the writers take the Eggman, I'm confident that Carrey will perform beautifully in the role. So right now, if I were to give my opinion on the direction of the Sonic movie, I'd say that it has a pretty okay chance of success. The casting is great, the production team is huge, the distributor has many successful movies under its banner. But we wouldn't be discussing this topic right now if something didn't go wrong, now would we? As I mentioned at the beginning of this video, the first movie poster was released to the public, and it seems like the production team tripped at the starting line. What is with Sonic's legs? Why is he so furry? How did they get his shoes wrong? The reception was immediately negative, and with just a silhouette, most of the fanbase was denouncing this movie. No one asked for Sonic to be redesigned for a live-action movie debut. Other movies like Wreck-It Ralph and Ready Player One used Sonic's original design with no problems, albeit in strictly CGI environments. But in an interview with IGN, executive producer Tim Miller explains the mindset behind bringing Sonic into the real world. That was always stage one of adapting it to what the real world is and what a real animal would look like. It would be weird, and it would feel like he was running around nude if he was some sort of otter-looking thing. It was always, for us, fur, and we never considered anything different. It's part of what integrates him into the real world and makes him a real creature. Miller also talked about making Sonic's unit eye look more realistic, saying, "I don't think Sega was entirely happy with the eye decision, but these sorts of things you go, it's going to look weird if we don't do this. But everything is a discussion. And that's kind of the goal, which is to only change what's necessary and stay true to the rest of it." I want you to keep in mind what he said about only changing what's necessary, because I'm going to come back to that in a bit. Now, without even talking about the quote-unquote leaked movie images that surfaced in the beginning of March of 2019, we can see a completely different design for Sonic's shoes than what he usually wears. Producer Neil Moritz tells IGN, "We looked at every different variation of what shoes he's worn, and we're trying to pay homage to that and also make it current and present day in what we think a Sonic of today would wear." Okay, well then why didn't you go with something that more closely resembled his iconic shoes? Surely you could have designed lookalikes from some of today's examples, or taken something that's already made and recolored it, like what a Redditor named Whimsical Calamari did to prove this exact point. Clearly this shoe design is a lot closer to what it should look like when compared to the original. It seems like the artists on this movie are redesigning things about Sonic just for the sake of saying they redesigned him. And I get it, truly I do. You want to make Sonic feel like he fits in the real world with the live action actors. But going back to the argument that Miller himself made, you only need to change what's necessary and stay true to the rest of it. He also says everything's a discussion, so let's discuss. Let's assume that the leaked images from early March are, in fact, the final product of how Sonic will look in the movie. Ew, gross. I almost threw up a little. He looks like a dark ball from Kingdom Hearts. Though I suppose not as much as the one from the YouTube movie. Anyway, here's the final Sonic for the live action movie. Now, let's add back in elements of the original Sonic that were lost for the sake of quote-unquote realism. Starting with the feet. We'll get rid of those super generic tennis shoes and replace them with running shoes. We'll also give Sonic his socks back, looking better already in my opinion. Now for his hands. Just give him back his gloves. You said you didn't want him to seem naked, but you're taking away all his articles of clothing. Seems counterproductive to me. And for the next change, nothing. A few minor adjustments to the character to make him realistic, yet keeping everything else that makes him Sonic the Hedgehog besides just his blue fur. Boom. Sonic. Not to be confused with Boom Sonic, who's like Sonic, but painfully more mundane despite what the word boom implies. So here's my version of movie Sonic, which is really just another of the many other quote-unquote fixed versions of Paramount's version. And it's not much different, but there's two reasons why he needs his gloves and socks. Number one, because like I mentioned, they are an iconic part of Sonic's overall design. He needs to be more recognizable to the fan base. The fans, your target audience, want Sonic the icon, not some dressed down imitation. Number two, because they help break up the character's colors so that he's not just a giant blue stick. This helps with the overall appeal of the character to others who are somehow unfamiliar with him. My first point is somewhat echoed, albeit on a more fundamental level, by co-creator of Sonic the Hedgehog Yuji Naka, who had a pretty strong opinion about movie Sonic's design, saying, "Looking at this Sonic's full body visual, it makes me realize the importance of the character's head to body ratio and the roundness of his stomach. Couldn't they have created a design with a better balance than this? Yeah, I agree. That body of his is even longer than the current modern Sonic, which is saying something, and it's saying something bad. It's small decisions like that that make the fans and even the creator apparently scratch their heads. If this was a strategic leak, then hopefully they got the message, which is, fuck, go back. So, is the Sonic movie in good hands with Paramount Pictures? Well, considering they acquired the rights to the film from Columbia Pictures on October 2nd, 2017, and the rest of the production team remained unchanged, it doesn't seem to matter whose name is at the head. In fact, Paramount might have very little to say in the matter when it comes to character design and screenplay. Furthermore, it's a little difficult to pin down who might be the X factor in making sure Sonic's first big screen outing goes right. And I know that's probably not the answer you were hoping to receive, but there is still a small amount of hope if we ask ourselves, can the movie just be changed altogether? And the short answer to that is yes. There have been many movies throughout history that were changed months, even weeks before the release date. And of course, there's always the option of pushing the movie back to make sure it's perfect before release. Although it was moved forward from November 15th to November 8th, so it seems unlikely that they'll push it back again. Given the amount of time they have left, and if their budget can sustain it, Paramount and the production team can change at the very least Sonic's design to make him more acceptable to the fans. And then it's all about story from there, but that's a topic for another time. Now, let me know what you think. Is the Sonic movie in good hands with Paramount? What other studio, if any, do you think could do it better? Let me know in the comments below or on my social media, links in the description. And if I'm being completely honest here, I don't have high hopes for this movie. Not just because of Sonic's design, but also because it's coming out around holiday season in the same month that the Terminator reboot and Frozen 2 are dropping. It's gonna get destroyed unless it is phenomenal, and that's a word that isn't usually synonymous with Sonic the Hedgehog. If you enjoyed this video, mash those like and subscribe buttons, and ring the bell for notifications to stay updated with my future videos. Fun fact! Did you know that Robin Williams was almost the Riddler in Batman Forever? Early in development, before even the screenwriters were hired, Warner Brothers knew that they wanted the Riddler as one of the villains, and they knew that they wanted Robin Williams to play him. Williams was a huge Batman fan too, so if they knew that early on and Williams was eager to play the villain, then why are we seeing Carey in the role instead? Well, the official explanation is that Williams passed on the part because he didn't like the script. But rumor has it that another reason he turned it down was because he was promised a role as the Joker in Tim Burton's Batman, only to learn that that was a ploy to ultimately sign on Jack Nicholson for that role. And Williams didn't want anything to do with Warner Brothers from then on until he was given an apology. It makes me wonder what could have been. What would a Riddler played by Robin Williams be like? Well, you can leave it to the internet to somewhat flesh out that idea. Here's a mock-up of a movie poster with Williams as the Riddler, and I have to say I would have been on board. On that note, I'm Rasenryu, and I'll see y'all next time.